Once it's done its first cut, the rest of the stripes are absolutely perfect. That's clever. If you don't get it in yourself properly, it works out it's at its docking station. How good is that? Doesn't complain, doesn't need feeding, doesn't need a pay rise. I do like the fact that with this one, unlike the others, they seem to be remote controlled and not programmable, or programmable and you can't just fly them around your garden to cut the grass manually. This obviously does both. Hello everybody, hope you're well. Now you might think this is the Sunseeker Elite X5 automatic grass cutter, but I'd say it's a time machine. And the reason I say it's a time machine is I don't have to cut the grass. I don't know about you, but I like having a nice lawn and nice grass. But every time it's a nice day in the summer, you have to go out and cut the grass when you want to be out playing. So this is like a time machine, it gives you time back and does all the grass cutting yourself once you've set it up. This is how it was delivered. Oh, that's a hell of an instruction book. Looks relatively straightforward to put together. It's more like a newspaper than an instruction book. And I would imagine they're the codes, QR codes for the app. Little box there with a charging unit in. And a UK plug, which is good to see. There's a stand, that's probably for the aerial. Under the packaging, there's the beast. Got another power supply. Oh no, that's the stand, is it? There's the top of the aerial, the poles for the aerial, some more bits over there. Oh, another power supply. Wow, in this box you get rather a comprehensive instruction book. Oh, it's in different languages, thank goodness. Look at that. Some bedtime reading there. There are the pegs to hold the stand down. What we got in here? Sounds like tools. Oh, metal pegs. Definitely well packed, nothing looks damaged. It's a nice strong box. First look underneath the grass cutter. There's one wide rubber wheel there, which obviously got a motor on it. It's quite a thick, strong tyre. And then you have these. These have obviously got motors on as well. They're the blades, like razor blades, and that's on a flexible height adjuster. And the wiring looks to be well sealed. Yeah, it looks to be very well made. Should be plenty of grip on those tyres. And there should be plenty of grip on that as well. That's got the width as well as those lovely bits on. You obviously can buy additional ones of these. These spin round with the centrifugal force of the blade turning. And of course, with having these sharp blades on like razor blades, and they are like razor blades, it gives you a real good clean cut of the grass. Stop button there. And underneath there, oh I see, there's your switches, and then this will be your heights. That's obviously some sort of aerial. It's stylish, isn't it? It's got to look good as well as be functional. There's the aerial with a substantive cable with it. The aerial poles, which seem to be aluminium and painted black. Good quality. It's not a plastic thread on the top, it's a proper metal thread that's fitted in. Hole just screws into there. Again, a decent thread, and it's got peg holes. And then the second pole fits on the top. Nice and straightforward. At the very bottom of the box is the garage plate with the holes in to hold it down. Another decent sized cable on it. It is plastic, but it's very robust. It's like a nylon plastic. And they're substantial as well. It'll take some knocking and some hammering, that will. Yeah, all looks good so far. Connections look good. There's a screw connector there with a silicone O-ring. There's 2 power packs, but it says on this power pack that it's for charging the unit. Some flashing lights down there. So it's charging. I'm just going to charge it up before we set it up in the garden. Obviously it'll charge itself once it's plugged in outside, but that might as well get the battery fully charged. Connection points are here. These stainless steel pins that fit onto those metal clips underneath. It's charging, the front lights are flashing. Quiet charger, there's no sound from it, there's no fans running or anything. Imagine this is the rain sensor on here, so if it gets a drop of water that joins those connections, it'll know it's raining, so it'll go back to its little docking station. Let's see how it works. The antenna comes with these metal loops. It's all good quality, and these are obviously to make sure this doesn't blow away. The base of this is a strong plastic. Everything else is steel. And you can actually set this up on a roof or on a wall, but I'm going to be using it in different areas. So I'm going to just set it up like that. And then this is the base unit or the garage, and this comes with some plastic pegs. And these are look like little Christmas trees, and they just push in there, push right down to keep the base stable. Thankfully I haven't found a rock yet. Plenty of these, because obviously the actual grass cutter drives back into this to recharge itself, or if it's raining it goes back and parks itself. It's always a good test if you can stand on them. They're good quality, they're not cheap plastic, like a nylon material. There's a code you need to add, and you can change this code obviously, but it's 000. And that links it to your phone. You download an app onto your phone, links to your phone through the app, and then you can start to map out your grassed area, and you literally drive it around with this on your phone like you'd fly a drone or a remote control car, and it remembers that area, and you can tell it where to cut or where not to cut, and if you want it to cross a path to go to another area to cut as well. I have reviewed one of these sort of grass cutters before, and it was quite complicated to set up, but this one has all the information on the actual app and has little videos in it as well to show you how it works, which I found it very easy rather than reading through instruction books. So that's the mapping setup there. There's your little grass cutter in the middle next to its station, and then you have just 2 sensors to move it forward, backwards, left and right. So you literally just drive it around the area you want it to cut. I've had to turn it down a bit because it's going a bit fast for me. Once you've done this, you can program it in and give the area a name. You can actually cut the grass like this as well, so you can actually turn the blades on while you're doing it remote controlly rather than automatically. I'm just giving it the outside parameters of where I want it to cut. Obviously if I was doing this and it was going to be permanent, I'd take a lot of time and walk around and go around every area. Just speeded it up a bit to cover this bit. I like the idea you can alter the speed while it's running. Doesn't complain, doesn't need feeding, doesn't need a pay rise. I'll slow it down a bit now to bring it back into its docking station manually. It's like bloody SpaceX. It's It's like docking a spaceship. I think it's sort of docked. That's clever. If you don't get it in yourself properly, it works out it's at its docking station and it shorts itself out. Very clever. And that's it. Leave it to cut the grass. It'll go back to the docking station if it rains or runs out of power. It's got cameras on the front in case it's an object that goes in front of it. So if a dog runs out or something lands in front of it. And it's got a bumper sensor on there, so if it bumps into something it'll also stop. And it'll just carry on till it's cut that area. And when it's finished it'll go back to the docking station and recharge itself. Camera, but this land is not exactly level. All particular flattening areas. But it's cutting it okay. I've just lifted the setting because it was probably a little bit low for this grass. But it's certainly cutting it well. I do like the fact that with this one, unlike the others, they seem to be remote controlled and not programmable, or programmable and you can't just fly them around your garden to cut the grass manually. This obviously does both. Apart from my bit of driving down the edge, which I didn't exactly get straight because I was rushing it and going too fast, the lines it's cutting are extremely straight. The angle of the cut of those straight lines is very clear that the GPS system on it is extremely sophisticated because it's absolutely bone straight. Once it's done its first cut, the rest of the stripes are absolutely perfect. The only fault it's got is with me. Let's see what happens when it comes up to something. Slowing down, it's seen us. And it works its way around an object. It's actually stopped cutting as well. That's clever. It's remembered that I was sat there and it's missed a bit of grass, so it's gone down round the object and come back again, and it's perfectly in line cutting that bit that it missed. A few sticks there, we'll see how it goes with them. No problem. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone, but it's extremely quiet. You'd undoubtedly allow this to run during the night and it wouldn't upset anybody. So I suppose there's another limitation of having a grass cutter. You can only really cut the grass when it's dry, and you can only really cut the grass when it's light. But with this, if it's dry in the night, you'd be able to set it loose. And of course it's all pre-programmable. It will go quite up close up to the fence, but I must have rushed it a bit. You can actually switch it on to manual mode and just cut down there by itself. You can adjust the speeds as it's running as well. So it's on its standard speed at the moment, but we can increase that speed. I've just altered the settings on there from slow, standard. It was on standard, it's now on fast. And you can change the cutting patterns as well. I quite like it on the straight lines though. As you can see, it shows you how long it's been running, how much it's cut of that particular area and the area it's cutting. And it's exactly on the mapping, so the GPS coordinates and the settings of it are really good. I think the key with this is to spend the time to set your maps on here and get them as accurate as you can, and the grass cutter will do the rest. And it's supposed to be able to use its artificial intelligence in it to improve its cutting processes every time it goes out. So it must remember if there's something in a wear, or if it's near a tree, or it has to move around an object to something, and it'll learn from that process. But it's cutting that grass lovely and well. Now this has been running for 33 minutes and it's been cutting around there, but I've also been setting it up and trying it and doing it manually. and we've still got 64% battery left. I would say I probably used about 10-20% doing the setup. So I think it'll do this full field on one charge. But if it doesn't, it'll just come back, charge itself and set off again. I'm so impressed how straight it does it. Because this ground is on a hill and it's a bit lumpy bumpy, there's quite a few weeds in it as well, but it's absolutely spot on straight lines. Makes the grass look like a bowling green or a golf course. If you was doing this with a hand mower, you'd never get those lines. You'd have to put pegs at either end. That is impressive. Doesn't only cut the grass free, it cuts the grass and makes it looking better than you can do it. Definitely the key is getting your map set properly. Spend the time to get the map set up. I'll take it into another garden in a bit, and we'll set it up there, which is obviously a different challenge for it. And that grass is a bit longer as well. I'm suitably impressed with that. The Time Machine grass cutter. Might not give you the exercise of pushing a grass cutter up and down, but it means you can go out and do other things. Actually come back right down here and realised it's missed some bits. That's clever. So it's covered the areas that it's missed and now it's back on its track. That's so impressive. You get to sit and watch it all the time. You won't spend time in the pub, you'll be sat in the garden with a beer watching it. It's getting to a little bit of a complicated bit now. It's coming up to that zone area there. So it's cut this unlevel area due to my driving and setting the map, and now it's going to fit in that zone. See, it's literally cutting the grass. Those razor blades really do a nice cut. Makes it look very pretty. If I was to stick a rabbit on top of it, a fluffy toy, it'd entertain the dogs at the same time. If you was really arty, you could actually draw a pattern in your grass on the mapping setting and get it to cut it into the grass. I did think the sensors might be too sensitive, the cameras, but it's perfectly okay. It does find relevant objects, and it's happy just to go up and down that hill. Hopefully you can work out the hill on this camera. I think that's a better angle. And it's pushing up and down there no problem and not losing any of its straightness in that cut. You can see on here there's a few gaps where I've been standing in front of it with the camera and things, and now it's recovering those gaps. So it's cut the full area. And then it'll go back and finish that zone off. Now it's finished doing its area. It's just going around the outline of the map, and it'll go back to its docking station by itself. How good is that? Got that fill field, all that area. It's nice and clean underneath. Those blades are still razor sharp. You do get spare blades with it as well. And it's obviously waterproof, so you can hose it down. So here we are. Another day, another garden. And as you can see, this grass is significantly longer, apart from the bit in the middle. And the bit in the middle is shorter because that's where the whippets run up and down. And I'm pleased to say it's cutting that long grass no problem whatsoever. I put it on quite a low setting there just to see if it can cope with it. And it's no problem at all. Happy enough doing that long grass. It's good to see. Let's see how it copes with an angle. That's right into the hedge and it's on an angle. Well, it's coping with that all right. And back the other way. I probably got that set a bit low for an angle like that, but it's coped with it. It really didn't have a problem with that. Look at the angle there. I mean, it's took a bit of the grass down there because it's been on a complete angle, but the suspension in the blade carriage has obviously dealt with that. I've cut this manually and I've cut half the grass and it's lovely. So my final thoughts, what do I think to it? Well, it's been fun, and part of that fun was it was easy to set up. I have reviewed other remote control and automatic grass cutters in the past, and they're a lot more complicated to set up than this one. The app on the phone has got all the instructions in and it's nice and straightforward. The features I really like on it are you can use it manually. So just with the remote control on your phone, you can fly it around your garden like a drone. And the controls on this as well, as you move it further up the forward and backwards or side to side, if you keep it more to the middle, you can actually reduce the speed. So if you come to a bit, either while you're mapping an area or you're trying to cut it manually, and you've got it on the fastest speed, because that's what we all do, isn't it? And you come to a tricky area, you just move your finger down the actual control and it slows it down. So you don't have to change the speed all the time, which I think is a really clever feature. It's very well made, it's very robust, and I think this is the lowest cost one I've reviewed. All the information will be in the description, so check the description and check across YouTube as well, because there's some other videos that go into very technical details. I don't do technical details, I do the practical, does it work, how's it set up? And you wouldn't have seen this if it wasn't good, because this was one where I was thinking, can it be that good at that price compared to some of the others? And I would probably say this is the best one I've reviewed, because it's got that double feature. You can cut the grass manually, you can set it into different zones, you can tell it to drive from one garden to another garden down a path without cutting. It deals with long grass, it deals with short grass, the capacity of the battery is big enough to cut the big field. It looks really nice, the grass, when it's been cut. And you know, I called it a time machine because it gives you time back. And as I said before, we all like a nice lawn and a nice garden, but when it's a nice day, you want to be out doing something, don't you? And I like the idea of this, that it's got all the features on there that you would expect. So you can actually put a timetable in to say, right, on a Tuesday, I want you to cut the grass in this area or cut the grass in that area. And you don't have to worry about it raining because it's got the sensor on there. It's waterproof, you can actually hose it down to clean it. And all the fittings, I've moved this to a few different places now, and the fittings are nice and strong. I've taken the pegs out and put them back in a number of times and none of them have broken. So yeah, highly recommend it. It's been great fun. The next thing I'd like to see is an automatic hedge cutter. We've got the grass cutter sorted, now I've just got to find something to cut the hedge, because I still have to cut the hedge. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. Check the description, as I say, see if there's any offers or any information, the price and all the details. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.